Good morning. Hope you're having a great week. It is Thursday, June 25th, 3:23 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, local time here in Trenton, South Carolina. I'm parked out front of Bridgestone. I just did a drop and hook here, and I'm about to start making my way back to the New Orleans area. So it's the night is going pretty damn good. They had an empty. I got in and out really quick. The security gate is closed. I'm just waiting on my 30-minute break right now. I got one more minute. As soon as it's up, I'm going to start rolling. And it's up. So the security, the gate is locked. It's closed, but they have a phone number that you can call if you are doing carbon black drop-in hooks. Then security will come out here and open the gate for you and let you do your drop and hook. I did my drop and hook, and then once I got out the gate, I started my 30-minute break. Normally, I would have just done my 30-minute break while I was doing the drop and hook, but since the security guard was sitting there waiting on me, I didn't want to do that. And as soon as I got parked and started my 30, within a couple of minutes, another TSD truck rolled in there. And security guard came and let them in. So yeah, really quick in and out. And they had an empty. There were no issues with the empty. Everything's going really smooth. Everything's going like according to plan. One thing I forgot to account for, though, was Eastern time zone. So I am going to be driving through Atlanta a little bit later in the morning than I had hoped. I was hoping to make it back through Atlanta
at the next
by like 4 a.m. or something, but
at the stop sign, turn left onto South Carolina 144.
I should still make it back through Atlanta somewhere before 6 a.m. I'll check when I get out onto the road. Looking clear. My next load is the exact same load. Well, not the exact same load. I'm coming right back here to this place on my next load. I'm picking up in Villa Platte, Louisiana, which is just northwest of New Orleans. There's a load I'm supposed to pick up there on Friday. So I've already been driving, 350 miles or so in this drive shift. I have 5 hours left on my drive shift, and I'm planning on driving 243 more miles. I have a stopping point in 243 miles. So I've been recording all night, and I didn't notice, but the electrical line, the USB cable going to the phone, got loose. And the battery ran dry and phone just cut off toward the end of the video, right? Just probably 20 minutes before I made it to here. So that sucks. So we'll give it another try. Google is telling me that there are no delays.
Use the right lane to take the I-20 West ramp to Augusta.
If there were any delays through Atlanta, then I was just going to park at the way station, like 20 miles from here. But Google's telling me there are no delays. So I'm going to go ahead and drive through Atlanta. Like, why am I worried about delays going through Atlanta at like 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m.? Well,
use the right lane to take the I-20 West ramp.
Atlanta is doing a whole bunch of construction with a lot of lane closures.
In a quarter mile, merge onto I-20 West. Continue on I-20 West for 143 miles.
All right, we're rolling. All right, let's see, 143 miles until the 285 bypass. So that's a little over 2 hours. And it is 3:31. So that should be 5:31 a.m. approximately when I get into the Atlanta area. And it's probably going to take me like, I don't know, 30 minutes to cross Atlanta. I'm just going like, I'm not driving through a lot of Atlanta. I'm coming in from the east side and I'm going out like the south side, a little bit southwest. So it should be a pretty easy drive across Atlanta. So I should get there somewhere around 5:30, and I'll probably be through Atlanta by about 6:15 Eastern time. And now that I'm empty, I should make a much better time. Hauling these max weight loads sucks. So yeah, this place I'm delivering to, I like the actual place, but I hate driving through Atlanta. I am looking forward to this contract being over with. I'm looking forward to going back to how I normally run. You know, I don't like working 90-hour weeks all the time. Now, I don't mind doing like a 90-hour week and then taking a week or two off. And then another 90-hour week and then take another week or two off. Or maybe even do 3 or 4 90-hour weeks in a row. Yeah, that sucks. But, you know, 3 or 4 90-hour weeks in a row and then take like a month off, that's pretty awesome. But to just do 90-hour weeks back to back to back to back for a long time, that sucks. You don't have any free time to do anything. What little free time you have to use to, like, basically do work-related stuff, do bookkeeping and things like that, pay bills. Like, my free time that I had yesterday, I used that to pay my car insurance, transfer money around between accounts, pay for my 2290. And just a whole bunch of that driver is moving it. He got to move it, move it. I was watching him come down the on-ramp, and I was like, they are hauling ass on it. That must be a long on-ramp for them to get up that kind of speed on it. They're empty. Okay, I don't know what's going on. I was going quite a bit faster than them, and now they're speed matching me. And now I'm going slightly faster than them. I don't know what's going on. Maybe they're not using cruise, or maybe they have some kind of weird cruise. What the fuck? They just turned their fucking brights on. What a jackass. Fucking hate people, man. I turn my brights on and off to let them know I don't have mine on. There's a lot of people that have really poor night vision, and it's hard for them to tell if people have their brights on. And my optometrist, well, I am my own optometrist, but the last optometrist that I saw several years ago told me that I was getting old and that my eyes were going to start hardening, and that would mean that my night vision would get worse, and I would have issues seeing things close up. And I actually was complimented. The person did not know she was complimenting me. But when I got my DOT inspection done a few months ago, during my vision test, the girl said that I have amazing vision for someone that wears glasses. She said that my optometrist is really good. And I agree. Because I do my own prescription. I am my optometrist. I got tired of arguing with optometrists because they just want to hurry up and rush through everything, and what they use to determine your vision is so close that it's really hard to tell like which lens they're flipping through on their little machine, which one is actually clearer. You get to a point where you're like, yeah, all of these look about the same to me, because you're looking at something that's so close, and it's also usually it's something lit with a background, and that makes it harder to see like crispness in something, like detail. So if you can't see detail in something, it's really hard to tell the difference in, what's clear and what's fuzzy. So I just got tired of how stupid optometrists are. These are like, the only thing I can think of is optometrists are just people who were too dumb to become a doctor. I don't know. Like every optometrist I've ever dealt with was a moron. And they were just constantly trying to upsell me unnecessary procedures. That should be against the law. Medical professionals are in a trust position where they're like certified by the state and all kinds of stuff like that. They should not be able to like sell you stuff. Especially medical procedures. They should not be incentivized in any way, right lane ends at 1,500 feet, to sell you medical stuff. Because, like, that's someone that is giving you advice about your health. And if they're recommending a medical procedure, then you're just trusting them. Like, you don't know that they're just selling you an unnecessary procedure so that they can make more money. That is really fucked up, that medical professionals can upsell you unnecessary services. Like, one of the things the optometrists are constantly upselling is to take pictures of your eye. Because I don't know how long ago, it was like 15 years ago or something, 20 years ago. It's been a while. It hasn't been within the last couple of years, but a few decades ago, they started requiring optometrists to have those machines that allow them to take pictures of your eye. In order for them to be part of the insurance, like in the in-network insurance or whatever, the optometrists have to have that machine. And almost no one needs pictures of the eye. So it takes them forever to recoup back the money they spend on that machine. So what optometrists started doing is recommending everyone to take a picture of their fucking eye. And they don't need to. And it's really shady and scummy what these optometrists do. Like, I had one, I visited with him one time, and after he did it, I never went back to him again. Because I got into an argument with an optometrist that wanted me to take that damn picture, and I kept telling her no. And she just sat there and argued with me about how I needed that picture. And finally, I agreed to let her take the damn picture, which she charges, I don't know what it is, $150 or something to take a damn picture of your eye. And then after, we took the picture, she's like, all right, everything looks good. She was just happy that she got her $150 fucking dollars. And I was so mad. The next time I went to another optometrist at the same clinic, and he had a really shady tactic. He said, "Oh, did you notice that cut on your eye?" And I was like, "What? A cut on my eye? What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Yeah, we have a machine to take pictures of your eye, and I recommend that you do that because it looks like you have a cut on your eye." We take the picture, and he's like, "All right, all done." I'm like, "What do you mean all done? What's going on with the cut on my eye?" And he's like, oh, there's no cut on your eye. So, yeah, these fucking optometrists do really shady shit like that to get you to do unnecessary procedures so that they can make more money. And that should be illegal. Anyway, enough ranting about optometrists. I got tired of arguing with them about them guilt tripping me into unnecessary procedures and them giving me the wrong prescription. So I went out and I bought a kit to where I could do my own damn prescriptions. And apparently I'm pretty damn good at it. So it's 760 miles from Villa Platte, the carbon facility there, the carbon plant, and the tire plant here in Trenton. 760 miles. So it's roughly somewhere in the ballpark of like 150 miles to Atlanta. So as soon as I make it to Atlanta, I only have about 600 miles left. So that's one drive shift. I'm within one drive shift if I can make it to Atlanta. So every mile past Atlanta just makes the next drive shift easier. And I'm planning on going, I don't know, maybe 100 miles past Atlanta. I've got an angry four-wheeler behind me because this container driver is coasting down the hill. All right, I'll speed up a little bit and get around this container driver. Oh, you fucking jackass. As soon as I got a little gap, this four-wheeler popped out and passed me on the right. Impatient jackass. Apparently, they're more important than all of us. Speaking of people who think they're more important than everyone else, it's a funny little news story. Well, not funny. It pisses me off what the person did. But it's funny because of the irony. During the celebration, the parade or whatever for the New York Knicks winning the sports ball championship, one of the New York Knicks fans saw a trash can that had been painted New York Knicks colors, like orange and blue or whatever the hell their colors are. And she just had to have that trash can. This was like a public trash can on the sidewalk in New York City. And she just thought that it would go great in her kitchen. So she dumped the full trash can. It was full. She dumped it out on the ground, on the sidewalk. Waste station's closed. She dumped it out on the sidewalk and then took the trash can with her on the subway to her house. And people recorded her dumping it out. People recorded her on the subway with it. Like, what kind of entitled jackass does something like that? Just dumps a trash can out onto the ground and steals it. Right in front of a whole bunch of people. Like, that is a level of entitlement. To commit a crime like that, multiple crimes, just right in front of a crowd of people, you have to have a mental health issue for like it not to process in your mind that there's a problem with that. Like for someone to think like there's not an issue doing this and to just go through with it, that's just, I don't think that person's right in the head. So it went viral. It made the news. Like it did not just get social media attention. It was on like state-run media. And it became so big that people very quickly found out who she was. She worked for J.P. Morgan. Worked, as in the past tense. She worked for JP Morgan, and she was the DEI executive at JP Morgan, the diversity, equity, inclusion executive at JP Morgan. And she got fired very quickly. By the time state-run media found out who she was and contacted JP Morgan for comment, she had been fired. All right, you got to keep an eye on these two. I think they might be road raging a little bit. I saw them flashing high beams back and forth at each other a minute ago. That reminds me, I saw a video clip of some cop power tripping, which unfortunately is common because that type of person that power trips is attracted to law enforcement, and they're supposed to screen those people out, but they don't do a good job of it. But this cop was sitting at a light that was green, or it was at, I think it was at a stop sign. They were just, or no, it might have been a yield sign. Stop sign, yield sign, something like that. And they were just sitting there playing on their phone. And somebody behind them honked their horn. And the cop got pissed off, jumped out of his car, and went back there and started making threats to the guy that honked at him, telling him that honking your horn at someone is road rage. That is not true. Honking your horn at someone is not road rage. Road rage requires intent to damage person or property. Brake checking somebody is road rage because you're doing something with the intent of causing damage to person or property. You're trying to cause an accident. If you swerve at somebody, that's road rage. Making threats to damage person or property, also road rage, which would be like, showing someone that you have a gun. That's threatening their life. That would also fall in the bucket of road rage if it happens while you're, interacting with somebody on the road. But honking your horn at someone, that is not road rage. Cutting somebody off, not road rage. That's aggressive driving. And honking your horn at somebody is not even really aggressive driving. If somebody is just sitting at a green light, honking your horn is not even really aggressive. That's just like, hey, somebody's not paying attention. I'm glad that we have body cameras for cops and we have so many people recording all the time these days, and it's helping get rid of a lot of these bad cops, people who should not be in a position of authority, especially a trust position like a law enforcement officer. This person is just chilling in the left lane. This lane too rough for you, buddy? There are people that will drive in the left lane because the right lane is too rough for them. Uh-oh, this person's noticed I'm here. I saw him drift over toward the right lane. Are they going to jump over to the right? Or are they going to stay in the left? They better not jump over the right with me this damn close and passing them. Some damn box truck. So let's figure out the trip plan really quick. 204 miles. To my stopping point. That's 3.5 hours approximately. And it's 4:02 a.m. So that should be about 7:30 a.m., but it's going to be Central Time, 2 miles ahead, starting June 29th, 8 a.m. They just got too much information on that damn thing. I didn't catch it. So it'll be 6:30 a.m. Central. So I should be shutting down around 6:30 a.m. Central. That means I can start driving again at about 4:30. And I will have 1 mile ahead starting June 29th, 8 a.m., right lane closed. Probably putting in some more of these shitty patches. So I'll have about 500 miles. So it'll be about 8.5 hours, maybe. We'll say 9 hours because I'm probably going to have to take a 30-minute break. So 9 hours. I start driving at 4:30. That means I'll arrive to Villa Platte around 1:30 in the morning. And I have to make a decision on what in the hell to do. There's a Pilot Flying J right at the same exit that the carbon plant's on. It's not too far of a drive. It's not like a 20-mile drive down country bumpkin roads. It's a decent little drive. It's probably about 5 to 10 miles. So I'll probably just drive down to the carbon plant, check in with them, and find out when the trailer is supposed to be ready. And then I'll drive back to the Pilot Flying J. You know what? I'll probably just park there at the carbon plant overnight and wait on the trailer, because that Pilot Flying J is going to be full at 1:30 in the morning. So yeah, I'll just go straight to the carbon plant, check in with security, find out roughly when the trailer is supposed to be ready. Go drop my empty, and then I'll park at the entrance and just sit there and wait for the trailer to be ready. And then once I get loaded, during the daytime, I'll stop at that Pilot Flying J, top off fuel, and take a shower, and then take off driving. So I'll probably be leaving by We'll be conservative and say 3 o'clock. Friday afternoon. And what I'll probably do is I will drive to Anna's travel stop just north of Mobile. Which is only like, I don't know, 300 miles or so. I don't know. Just depend on what kind of mood I'm in. But I'll have to pick out a spot where I'm going to be able to find a parking spot in the middle of the night. "107 miles to Atlanta," says the sign. But that's pretty much to the middle of town, I think. 95 miles until the 285. What's going on? Yeah. Oh, an accident. Somebody drove off into the median. Some four-wheeler drove into the median. Oh, I'm looking forward to this contract being over with. These 90-hour weeks are just, they wear on you after a while. This is one of the things that I knew that I would not like about trucking. So my dream when I was a kid was to become a truck driver. I was one of the smart kids in school. I was in like gifted and talented programs and on the Brain Bowl team and the academic team and all that crap. And whenever we were in high school and the counselor was like giving us the little tests about what occupation you would like. Well, they ask you like what occupation you would like, and I told them I wanted to be a truck driver. And I was a bit of a smartass. I probably still am, but I was a bit of a smartass in high school. Everybody thought I was joking when I told them I wanted to be a truck driver. Because truck drivers have a stereotype of being dumb. And I was one of the smart kids, so they're like, ah, ha, 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 you want to be a truck driver? Hey, that's funny. But I was being honest. That's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a truck driver. And then we took that, there's some stupid little questionnaire that you take, and it tells you what your ideal occupation would be. And my number one occupation was truck driver. Based off of my answers. So I became a truck driver. And I hated it. Ended up quitting trucking and doing something else. I surrendered my CDL. Whenever they came up with a requirement that you had to get a medical exam, otherwise, your license would get suspended if you didn't have a medical exam. I did that like once or twice, and then I was like, I'm tired of doing this crap. I'm just going to surrender my CDL. I downgraded my license to a regular license. And then I got the urge to get back into trucking again. And I said, well, why would I do something that I know I hate? I said, well, I love trucking. There are things I like about trucking. It's something I've always wanted to do. Why did I hate trucking so much last time I was in it? So I created a list of all of the reasons that I quit trucking, all the things I hated about trucking last time I was, in trucking. And the long work weeks, that was one of the negatives. So before I would get back into trucking, I had to figure out ways to fix all those problems. And what fixed a lot of those problems was becoming an owner-operator and having high revenue and low expenses and lots of amenities in the truck. Making my truck as close to home as possible so I would not, dread being away from home. I can sit in my truck and watch TV and play video games. The exact same thing that I do at home. So, I don't mind being away from home for months at a time. Yes, there's a lot of convenience things at home. My own bathroom, washer and dryer, dishwasher, stove. My computer at home is nicer than my laptop in the truck. But it's better at home, but still, I can do what I enjoy in the truck. So, amenities in the truck, make it as close to home as possible, and then high revenue, low expenses, and be an owner-operator where I can do what the hell I want. I don't have somebody lording over me, pushing me to, work 90 hours a week. So yeah, what I'm doing right now is something I cannot stand doing. If this was going to be my life in trucking, was just working 90 hours a week like this every fucking week, 50 weeks out of the year, like most truck drivers, oh no, there's no way I'd do this. Absolutely not. I would rather work at McDonald's for $20 an hour than do this shit. That actually sounds fun. To go back and work at McDonald's again, I don't know. I'd probably get really annoyed after an hour or two of working with kids. It was frustrating when I was in high school to work with other kids because they're lazy. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this contract being over with because I'm doing something I'm doing a whole bunch of things I don't like doing on this contract. I don't like hauling heavy loads. for many reasons. I don't like running in the eastern part of the country. I don't like working 90 hours a week. I don't like having other people dispatching me. I don't like, working off of somebody else's schedule. So yeah, there's lots of annoying crap I'm dealing with on this load. So I'm looking forward to this dedicated being over with, and I can just go back to doing things the way I normally do things. I don't even know if this dedicated is really worth it. I've spent so much money. I have almost no profit from all this work that I've been doing. I have almost no profit to show for it. What I'm trying to rationalize in my head is that all of the money I spent on repairs is stuff that I was going to need to get done anyway. But I've spent, I don't know, I've lost track of how much money I've spent on repairs. And there's still a couple $1,000s I need to do. I think it's somewhere in the ballpark of like 15 grand once I get everything done that I need to get done. But I've got a lot of things fixed on the truck. Like I have new steer tires, which my old steer tires were actually in really good condition. They would have lasted a few more years. But because of that issue with the wobbling in the steering, it ruined my steer tires. In just like a couple of days of that wobble being really bad, it created bald spots on my steer tires. So that's not something I really needed to get replaced until another issue ruined them. And then I've replaced a lot of tires on this contract. I had 2 blowouts, replaced those 2 tires. So I replaced 2 drive tires due to blowouts. My 2 steer tires because they had bald spots from the steering wobble issue. And then I replaced 2 drive tires because they were just getting to the point where they were almost bald. So I've replaced 4 drive tires and 2 steer tires. Six of my 10 tires I've replaced. Oh, I'm getting tired. Still got 3 hours to go. Now, once I finish this dedicated run, which hopefully ends really soon, I will probably take a month at least off at home. And then go back to running the way I used to run. So now that we've made the greatest peace deal of all time with Iran, and the most oil that's ever gone through the Strait of Hormuz has gone through in the last day, does that change what I think is going to happen as far as fuel prices and freight market and recession next year? No, it doesn't. Because we haven't signed the greatest deal of all time, regardless of what the government says. And there's not record amounts of oil going through the Strait of Hormuz, regardless of what the government says. The government is just saying, just like the government's been lying for months about the Iran situation, and they continue to lie. They're trying to influence public opinion for various reasons. One of them is the midterm elections that are coming up, the primary elections that are happening. Also to manipulate the financial markets. So there's lots of reasons that the government is lying, but they are lying. The deal that we've signed with Iran is an act of desperation. It's basically terms of surrender. If you read through the terms of this memorandum of understanding, it is extremely lopsided in favor of Iran. It's basically all of the demands that Iran made months ago. They wanted reparations. They wanted an end to sanctions. They wanted all their money back that had been frozen. This second, this car just sped up as soon as I started getting over in the left lane. I hate it when four-wheelers do this shit. I have this magical device called a cruise control, so my speed has not changed. I was going faster than the car when I was behind it. I get over in the left lane, and then suddenly we're going the exact same speed. The license plate is Grandma 1. I don't know if Grandma's driving it right now. Alright, I'm going to speed up because this jackass is just speed matching me. I'm just going to brush her off on this tanker. I sped up to 73 and she sped up with me. So I'm just going to rub her off right here. Get rid of her on this tanker. And now we're back down to the cruise speed. I only got up to 72. Yep, I'm looking forward to doing those long runs up into the Pacific Northwest. I am not looking forward to window loads. Be nice if some Landstar agent got a decent contract coming out of the Portland area. I'm not even sure I'm going to make it all the way to my stopping point. I just need to make it past Atlanta. That's it. If I see a way station or a rest area past Atlanta, I might just pull over there and park because I'm getting tired. Oh, sweet. The jackass behind me dimmed their lights. Or did they just get behind somebody? I think they dimmed their lights. Yeah, that makes it legal to drive without any lights. Just turn your four ways on. I mean, if none of my marker or clearance lights are working on my trailer, I can just drive with my four ways on if they work, right? That's legal, right? Whoop. Truck tried to go right. You don't want to go right. All right, let's fish out the tropical punch. Let's get some sugar in us, and then maybe I'll stop yawning so much. All right, I got a big swig of sugar water. Oh yeah. Once I park, the air conditioner is going on high, and I'm gonna crawl into bed and just pass out. Normally, I would not be tired right now, but my sleep schedule is a little bit messed up because of I just did a weird schedule to get the tires replaced. Whenever you order the tires through Landstar's discount program, LCAP, it says in the email that you have 10 days to use it. I don't know what happens after that 10 days. I don't know if there's any penalty or anything, or if it just gets canceled and you have to submit for another one. I don't know what happens, but I didn't want to deal with that, so I made it a priority to get the tires replaced. So I just drove like 160 miles, and then I went into the shop to get the tires replaced, and then I drove a couple hundred more miles, like 250 miles. And then I took another break, and I waited until nighttime to drive, the rest of the way to go across Atlanta. And I was taking naps and trying to sleep, but in my last sleep period, I didn't sleep very well because I hadn't been awake for very long. I'd only been, I woke up after taking like a 3 or 4 hour nap. I woke up and drove like 4 hours. I was awake for a couple hours after I parked, and then I tried going to sleep and sleeping until I was going to drive yesterday evening, and I couldn't sleep that long. because I hadn't been awake that long. So I'm on this weird napping sleep schedule where I'm used, over the last few days, I've just been like sleeping for 3 or 4 hours and then working for 6 or 7, 8 hours and then sleeping. And now I've been awake working for a long time. I hate it when slow vehicles run me into the back of slower vehicles. A person passing me was slow passing me and just ran me into the back of this 65 Walmart truck. This damn tanker is going almost the exact same speed as me. All right, I think it's pulling away from me. Oh, I'm yawning like crazy. I want to pull over and sleep so bad right now. But I want to get through Atlanta right now. Now is going to be like the perfect time to drive through Atlanta with hardly any traffic. Son of a bitch. What the fuck, man? This tanker just slammed on their brakes in front of me. And they're taking an exit. And out of nowhere, I've got a pack of like 6 four-wheelers jamming me into this lane. It's like these motherfuckers get together and coordinate this shit. Still 44 miles from 285. It's 4:56 a.m. I'm starting to deal with early commuters. It's going to get worse as I get closer and closer to 285. I'm going to start hitting early morning rush hour. Major metropolitan areas like Atlanta, they have several different rush hours. I'm hopefully going to make it across Atlanta before the main morning rush hour starts getting bad. Rest area and 1 mile. I am so tempted to pull in there. Just go to sleep right now. But look how nice traffic is. Oh my goodness, stop yawning. Just too comfortable. Yeah, there's a load I saw on the load board a couple days ago going from Dallas to Walla Walla, Washington. Don Flores, DDB agency, Maddox account, retail shelving units going out of Terrell, Texas, just east of Dallas. I've actually hauled probably that exact same load. I don't know where it's going in Walla Walla, but I've hauled a load for Dawn going to Walla Walla, and it was I delivered it to a grocery store. And that load was paying $4.10 a mile, which sounds really good, but once you consider that fuel prices are really high, it's not very good. Because Walla Walla, Washington is out in the middle of nowhere. When I delivered that load in Walla Walla, I deadheaded from Walla Walla all the way to Staten, Oregon. I don't know how many miles that is. If I had to guess, I'd say it's probably 300 miles. That I deadheaded to get to my next load. So once you account for the huge deadhead, and the increased fuel prices, it's not that great of a load. I've done it before, but only because I couldn't find anything better. Right now, the load is paying, I don't know how, it's $8,000 something dollars, 82, 8,600, somewhere in that area. And hopefully it got covered. But when I looked at it, it had already been sitting on the load board for over 7 days. And no one was taking it. But really, the load isn't paying much more than it was paying before the fuel prices went up. I think when I hauled that load, I got like 380 a mile or so, 390 a mile. 30 miles. Getting close to Atlanta, only 30 miles away from the 285, and it's 5:09 a.m. So we're gonna start hitting the 5 a.m. morning rush. The people that have to be to work at like 5:30, 6 a.m. that are commuting from out here in the sticks. My God, these four-wheelers are fast. Every fucking time I get out to pass somebody, within a couple of seconds of being out in the left lane, I got a four-wheeler riding my ass. Asshole almost clipped me driving past me. Right here driving like 100 miles an hour. And I think whenever I get out in the left lane, they floor it. Yeah, traffic's getting a lot worse. 25 miles away. So in 25 miles, I'll get onto the 285, and then I've only got a short distance onto the 285. I don't know exactly how far it is, but I'm only going to be on the 285 for, I don't know, maybe 10 miles, maybe 15 miles. And then as soon as I get onto the 85, we're good. Or the whatever in the hell I'm getting onto. Would have preferred to go through here earlier, but traffic is not too bad right now. 5:16 a.m., 21 miles until the 285. Damn, these fucking roads suck. This lane has all kinds of ruts and shit in it that are grabbing my steer tires, trying to drive the truck for me. When I used to commute in Oklahoma City, like 20 years ago. I remembered that I had a really long commute. I drove like 50 miles one way to work. And right around 7:10 a.m. was the threshold. At around 7:10 a.m., all of the choke points around town would start becoming stop and go. And traffic would become a parking lot around Oklahoma City by 7:15, 7:20, and last until around 8 a.m. So if I left at 7 a.m. to be at work by 8 a.m., I would usually be late. So what I had to do was leave at like 6:20 a.m. That way I could get to work by about 7:15, 7:20 a.m. If I left at like 6:45, I would barely make it to work on time. But if I left at 6:20, then I would get to work like 40 minutes early. Oh wow, only 13 miles to go until we get onto the 285. It should be smooth sailing once I get onto the 285. The main thing I'm worried about is 20. And I think the first way station or rest area or whatever I see to pull over on, as soon as I get onto 85, I'm going to pull over. Not the 285, but like the 85. Here come the morning commuters, driving like maniacs. Truck in front of me need an exit. They're trying really hard to get in that right lane. They're hitting on their brakes, slowing down to get over behind this four-wheeler. Why do they need over that right lane so bad? Yep, they exited there. Only 6 miles to go, and it's getting more and more sporty by the second. Yeah, I'm having trouble keeping my damn eyes open. .2 miles. And here we go. We're slowing down. Now we have multiple lines
Take the exit toward
in the road. I'm not sure which one's the actual lane marker. All right, now we're down to one line in the road. Oh my goodness. .5 miles from the 285, and traffic is slowing down a lot. Great. Just got a line of sons of bitches passing me that are cutting me off. Yeah, I've been saving that space for all of you sons of bitches. That's what it's there for. This is the reason people tailgate. And these morning commuters, if you have space, they're going to fucking get in it because they are extremely aggressive drivers.
In half a mile, take the exit toward I-285 West.
I don't know which fucking lane I need to be in. It's a double exit.
Take the exit toward I-285 West. Then you'll take the ramp to I-285 West. Take the ramp to I-285 West. Continue for 1 mile.
I think I'm in the right lane. I want to go south. And right is the south.
In half a mile, slight right onto the ramp to I-285 West. Slight right onto the ramp to I-285 West. Continue on I-285 West for 15 miles.
So Google is telling me to take I-285 West, and there is no... Look at these fucking idiots just driving way too fast and weaving through traffic. This is why I avoid rush hour in major cities. Because people who drive in rush hour are just... Like, people normally just drive like panicked animals. But when they're in heavy traffic or they're in like rush hour traffic, like they're in a rush to get home or they're in a rush to get to work, they drive like cornered, panicked animals. So it's just a whole other level of stupid that they reach during rush hour. And we are in one of the early morning rush hours. I'm going to get over out of this fucking right lane while I can. "13 miles until I get on 85. Get after it, super trucker. You get out there and do super trucker things. Super trucker over on my left sees all that space in front of me, and they want so badly to be in that space. They are driving so aggressive. They're doing that little maneuver where they slow down, then they get going really fast, and they run up on the car in front of them and slam on their brakes. Trying to intimidate them into going faster. It's not working. .4 miles to go. My goodness. Seems like we've been driving a lot longer than that. We started out with 13. We've still got 8.4 to go. These two fucking jackasses. Why in the hell do idiots get so close? They think of these trucks as like stationary objects. Oh my god, is it this dumbass again? Why does everybody want to get in front of me? And that pickup is tailgating the shit out of that car. Yeah, I really wish I would have come through here like an hour earlier. 5:47 a.m. This is the early morning rush hour. It still hasn't gotten bad yet. The 6 to 7 a.m. is going to be worse. And then the 7 to 8 a.m. is the main rush hour. Uh-oh, we got a super trucker. They were out there in that restricted lane in the left. Weaving through traffic. What is this moron going to do here? Are they going to realize that bobtail's going really slow? And then go back all the way to the left lane? There they go.
In 2 miles, use the second from the right lane to take exit 61 for I-85 South for Montgomery, Columbus.
Think I need to be over, but I got too many sons of bitches passing me on the right. What the fuck?
In half a mile, use the second from the right lane to take exit 61 for I-85 south toward Montgomery, Columbus.
Why are we stop and go? Because of all these dumbasses that are cutting in at the last second. They're stopping over in the lanes to the left. They're coming to a complete fucking stop and forcing their way over.
Use the second from the right lane to take exit 61, then you'll take a slight left onto the I-85 south ramp to Columbus, Montgomery. Slight left onto the I-85 south ramp. Continue on I-85 south for 80 miles.
You know, I do kind of need to drive a little ways away from Atlanta because I'm going to be starting driving this evening right around rush hour. And people are going to be leaving town. So it would be really nice to be at least 30 miles away from town. Fuck. Got a slow ass four-wheeler. Damn it. Lots of stupid going on. This bobtail will not move to the damn right. So we'll pass it on the right. "5:58 a.m." Next time I have to remember to account for time zone change. I thought I was going to roll through here between like 4 and 5 a.m. All right, tons of people are exiting here, and tons of people are getting on here. So this looks like this road that we're going past right now, Sonoya Road, is the main suburb on 85 south of Atlanta. That's the last main, like, suburb. Alright, this some bitch won't move over, so we'll pass him on the right. Alright, can I make it 67 miles, or am I going to pull in at the first damn place I see? I would prefer to drive for another hour, but I'm still having trouble keeping my eyes open, and I'm yawning a lot. So if I see a rest area, I'm going to take it. I don't even know if there's going to be a rest area. Somebody on the shoulder up ahead. It's a really slow dump truck. And I am going to crawl into bed and pass out as soon as I park. I've got to do my damn paperwork first. Otherwise, they're going to be texting me, calling me, emailing me, asking me to send it in. Damn, Georgia, do you just not believe in rest areas? We're getting far enough away from town that I'm starting to lose faith in that right lane. My goodness, the yawning. This looks like another busy little exit. All right, we're losing our far left lane. I'm struggling right now. I am just looking for a place to pull over, hoping that I don't have to drive another 54 miles to my original plot point. Well, there's a pilot truck stop here, so I could stop at this exit. I don't really want to stop at a major truck stop this close to a major metropolitan area. I think it's going to be a pain in the ass to get in and out of. Great. Are both these sons of bitches going 65? Does this flatbed not know how rude that shit is? Sit there and hang someone out to your left when they merge over for you? Or when they move out of your way so you can merge? Yeah, we just got 265 vehicles blocking traffic. Trucks are not allowed in that far left lane. Both of these people are assholes. Oh, great. Finally it clears up, and I've got some jackass flying by me in the left lane. So now I'm stuck in this lane. And this asshole flatbed is getting out into the fucking center lane to try to pass that other truck. What a fucking jackass. Does this idiot not know that there's a lane restriction? We've only got these two fucking lanes to pass in. That container driver doesn't give a shit. Dumbass. Come on, Georgia. Do you have a fucking rest area? I'm hoping on the downhill this container driver gets up to like 100 and disappears from my life. Ah, 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 ah. There's a lip. My steer touched it and it started pulling me to the left.
There are police reported ahead.
Left lane's ending. We're going down to 2 lanes. Sorry, I'm not talking much. I am just extremely tired. Just have a bad sleep schedule. The next drive shift, I should be perfectly fine because as tired as I am, I should be able to just pass out and get at least 6 or 7 hours of sleep and not be awake for like 4 hours before I start driving. "6:26 a.m." Ooh, I saw a blue sign up there. Is that a rest area? I'm still 41 miles from my stopping point. There was not even a blue sign. Am I hallucinating? Or could I just see into the future and it was this blue sign? "40 miles.
There are police reported ahead.
There are a lot of Georgia cops. I want to get the truck nice and cold for when I stop, but I'm afraid to get it too cold in here. I'll fall asleep. Oh, is this a way station sign? This is a way station. I'm going to park there. Way in motion 2 miles ahead. All trucks right lane. And these sons of bitches in front of me just slowed way down. Fuck all you. Alright, let's hurry up and get around this truck before we hit the way in motion. Truck parking permitted at way station. The signs are out. We're fucking parking here. Alright, let's turn the air conditioner up. Let's start getting cold in here. Damn it, this place is kind of packed.
In 600 feet, take the ramp to I-85 South.
Alright, I don't want to park over here on the left. There are parking spots, but I don't want to park there because there's going to be a lot of traffic moving through here. I'm going to go around to the back lot where there's a lot less traffic. Let's take the seat belts off so I can move around. Let's let's go over hall. Trying to get straightened up in the lane as much as possible. All right, that's the drive shift. Oh my goodness, I don't want to move. I don't feel like moving, but I've got to get ready, got to get everything prepped. I got to do my damn scanning my paperwork. So I'm going to end the video so I can go do all my crap. Otherwise, I'll just sit here and do nothing for 30 minutes and waste 30 minutes of my sleep time. So anyway, have a good one. Bye.